Hello, 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 good people, and welcome to Happy Healthy Whole with Sharea. Today we are talking, well, for the next few weeks, I'm going to talk self-love. And since we are starting this off, we're going to talk about radical self-love, embracing your whole self. Um, Welcome. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to our videos. We are going to talk about self-love. And so whenever we talk about this, it somehow always seems to kind of get back to some of our core issues that we struggle with around embracing our flaws, our strengths, our history, and so much more. And so this 4-week series is going to try to look at how, as Black women, we don't always talk about it nearly enough in a way that is about radical self love and caring for ourselves, our communities, and our families by looking at who we are, what we've experienced. We usually are nowadays talking about, treating ourselves to a spa day, hanging out with our girlfriend, and we're not really talking about that stuff where you're embracing all of who you are, the flaws, the strength, the history that I talked about, and so much more. And so I see too many of us waiting on some kind of like permission to be able to actually get started. And so I hope that this 4-week series will at least get you on a path of understanding self love, doing the real work, and taking care of you. And so the first thing I want us to do is take a deep breath and understand that this self love is not being perfect and that there is no external validation that is going to exceed what you feel about yourself. And a lot of the past mistakes around what we've done and what wasn't right in our lives can sometimes stop us and keep us haunting our own selves with this, like, I don't deserve love. I don't deserve to love myself. And so I'm going to start by just saying, take a deep breath, give yourself some permission to love you, to forgive you. And we're going to talk about a little bit of a bunch of things over the next 4 weeks. So let's just start with taking that deep breath. Self love is not this ultimate destination where I'm here. It is just this ongoing practice. And today we're going to start just like that, starting our practice of self love. The first thing we're going to think about is, what is self love? Radical self love means choosing you every single day. It means loving yourself even when you're not feeling your best, refusing to shrink yourself to fit into any space that doesn't fully honor you or your identity, and knowing that you are inherently worthy of not having to prove yourself to anyone every single day. So let's recap those three things really quickly again so that you get them and you can hear them for yourself related to where you're going, where you may struggle. Because over the next 4 weeks, one of these areas are hopefully going to allow you to release yourself into a new form of self love. And so loving ourselves even when you're not feeling at your best. So that time when your hair isn't perfect, that time when your body weight isn't what you want it to be, where your face isn't beat and you don't have every single thing looking perfect, always still knowing when you don't say the right things or you don't present yourself perfectly to an audience of your, I mean, that's for some of us, it's our business or something where we find ourselves looking at who we are as having to be perfect. When we are able to say, I love myself, even when I'm not feeling my best, we are able to embrace choosing ourselves every single day. That does not give us the permission to be ignorant. That doesn't give us the permission to to insult others. Doesn't give us the permission to even think that somehow our internal validation has to be filled by externally devaluing or not valuing others. It really means that I'm loving myself or ourselves even when we are not feeling our best. So that's number one. Refusing to shrink yourself to fit into spaces that don't honor you. That's number two. When we think about, sometimes as Black women, we are trying to fit into so many different boxes for success in our families, success in our friendships, success in our careers, success in our business, whatever the case is. A lot of that also looks like shrinking ourselves to make people feel comfortable, to make people feel like what they are doing is either valuable or more valuable in some cases than us, or even their needs are more important than ours. And what I want you to look at when we're thinking about refusing to shrink ourselves is, again, not about trying to assault others, not trying to put people down. It's literally about saying that your voice matters. And I know that if you haven't already, there's a video on here that talks about the importance of understanding and honoring yourself as a Black woman and your voice and how important it is. So I'll try to link that in here for you. But knowing that you don't have to shrink to fit in it to anybody's box and or category of how they see you or how they believe you should be related to what they view as your identity. Never shrink yourself. And in those cases where you are doing so consistently, it's time to reevaluate that environment and that space that you're in because it might be time to move on. But that's for another day. In this moment, not going to do it. The last one of these three are knowing that you are inherently worthy without having to prove it to anyone else. A lot of our baggage from our experiences growing up, our relationships that we currently hold, put in this kind of have to earn my way to, or put us in this position to feel like we have to earn what love should be. We have to earn our respect. We have to earn our connections. But in a lot of ways, if we just start with the baseline that I am worthy of receiving good things, of having good things, of knowing that I can relate to others in a way that is loving and kind, then I can at least start my moments off each day with understanding that there's this baseline of value, respect, worthiness that I'm going to give myself that really won't matter if no one else doesn't try to give it to me. And so I want us to start with those three things as our assessments through the weeks that's coming up to really get us to understand that if we are really going to knock down some of these barriers to self-love, we're going to have to really evaluate that we're not perfect, that we make mistakes, but we still are worthy of being loved and loving ourselves and refusing to shrink who we are. And let's be real, radical self love can feel uncomfortable at first, especially when you have been taught to put others in front of you, to care about everyone else. But I'm going to tell you, honestly, sis, if you are really going to do this, you're going to have to start by giving yourself that real permission. So I want to give us some practical steps to get started because those are our three areas that we're going to rock out over the next 4 weeks. But I really want us to think about where can we start? Here are three steps for radical self love that you can start today. So, you're going to think about a mirror talk. This is every morning looking in the mirror and saying one thing you love about yourself out loud. Speak life into you, speak life into yourself. So, today, I am beautiful. I am worthy. I am loving. I have the most beautiful eyes and fullness in my face. I have skin that echoes the sun's love for this earth, right? These are just some of the things that we could say to ourselves, right? So I want you to pick every morning, pick up that mirror, go to that mirror when you're getting ready to do it all up and do all those things before you even put on a drop of makeup. One thing you love about yourself out loud and speak that life into yourself. So that's going to be one practical step that you can take. Number two, release the shoulds. Stop telling yourself what you should be doing and start honoring what actually feels right for you. So, for example, a should might be I should be married by now. I should be in love and having a family by now. I should have the best job and career by now. I should have the best body by now. I should be able to fit into these jeans. I should be able, I should. What we're going to do in this one is each morning after you go through the moment of love, you're going to release one I should. So, for example, myself, I should be taking better care of myself. I'm going to release that by saying, I have started a routine that honors my body. I have started a routine that gives me the freedom to connect with healing my body, right? And so that's an example of getting real release from a should. So I'm going to acknowledge what the should is that I'm always telling myself, and then I'm going to counter it with a active reality of where I am and or where I want to be. So release the shoulds. And then curate your space. Unfollow social media accounts that make you feel inadequate. Surround yourself with people and messages that uplift you. There is enough toxicity in the world for us to make a decision to turn some of it off. We do not have to be involved in every negative conversation about Black women. One of the things that I did for myself, especially because of the specific work that I do with Black women and me being a person who actually shares that, is that I turned off being a person who responds to comments about racism, being a person who responds to trying to get you to see that Black women deserve to be loved. I am no longer allowing myself to engage with people who don't really want to change those things about their thoughts around Black women, but want to engage you in controversy or in a way that just puts more pain and stress on yourself. And so for me, I've unfollowed them, I blocked them, whatever I need to do to make sure that they don't have any power in how I feel about loving myself as a Black woman or the Black women that I love. And so that is one way to consider curating your space and starting with your environment, both social as well as internal. And so we're going to get into some of that in a little bit later in the weeks. So I don't want to go too far into that. So loving yourself is this revolutionary act I wish upon all of you. You don't need permission to love yourself boldly and loudly from anyone else but yourself. Drop a comment below and tell me the one thing that you are going to start with telling yourself that you love about you. And I'd love to be able to repeat it back to you. All right, y'all, take good care of yourselves. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to our channels, and be well.